In the last class, we discussed about the Maxwell's equations for the static fields. Right, this is where we left our discussion. I think you all remember. So, what all things we discussed? We have four equations. One is what del dot D equal to rho V, which is from what Gauss's law. Then we have seen what del dot when it comes to magnetic field, the dot product or the divergence for magnetic field is zero. That tells us that we cannot make a monopole, like north pole as it is cannot exist, and south pole also as it is it cannot exist. Similarly, we have seen that del cross E equal to 0 when we have gone through potential and all. So that also we learned in electric field, and that tells us about the conservative nature of the electrostatic field, right? Then in magnetostatics, when we take the curl of a magnetic field, then what is happening? Then we have seen that it is equal to the current density, and that was the outcome from Ampere's law. So these all things are known to you till now. Okay. So just I know after the exams and all, you are just back. So please go back to your notes and see whatever you have studied till now. So we will get into the next portion. Okay. Last class we discussed about ambient circuit law applications, then magnetic flux lines and all. Now we are going to discuss about the potential, right? So since we have discussed about the magnetic field intensity as well as what magnetic flux density, these quantities are over. Now similar to electric field, we discussed about E and D. Now we are going to discuss about what the potential. Okay. So the potential or the scope of potential in magnetic field we are going to see. So there are magnetic, scalar and vector potentials are there. Okay, magnetic, scalar and vector potential. Let us see. Okay, first I want you to just grab the understanding that there is magnetic, scalar and vector potential. Then we will see how it is defined. Okay. So I think you all remember this potential when it comes to electrostatics. Then what? Then we have defined potential this way: E equal to minus del V, right? So our electric field density is taken as the gradient of negative gradient of potential. It gave us it was very good. I think we have already discussed it. It's why it is that why this is more important, that E equal to minus del V and its use. Like when you are using the Coulomb's law or Gauss's law, whatever you are using, you are playing with vectors. And when you come to the electric field density and it is formulated in terms of the gradient of the potential is a scalar. So there is a simplification involved here, right? So using a scalar, you are able to what represent in the vector field when it comes to potential. So that was the need and use of that when it comes to problems. Or when it comes to real time problems, like you have a complex geometry or you have to find out the electric field density or the field. Then what? Then you will if you have a choice of potential, then you will go for potential, because in a scalar you are able to make all the information whatever is there which comes to the vectors like electric field density is here. So that is the main use of potential. Similarly, this is electrostatics that we have already covered. Similarly, in magnetics, we can have in magnetics we have potential. Okay, so there is magnetic potential, and that potential in case of electric field intensity, or in case of electrostatics, our V is what? V is a scalar. So, but here we can either have magnetic scalar potential, or we can have what? Or we can have magnetic vector potential. Okay, so both can be there. The magnetic scalar potential, it is written as V V suffix M. Okay, so that is how we represent magnetic scalar potential, and the magnetic vector potential, that is written as vector A. Okay, so vector A is the magnetic vector potential, and Vm is what we normally use for magnetic scalar potential. Now, before getting into any much more discussion, I want you to remind you of the two identities. Okay, so this two identities here. Okay, when it comes to this, we have already discussed, I think. So del cross if you take a gradient of a scalar, then what, and its curl, like the curl of a gradient of a scalar, that is definitely going to be what, 0. This is one identity we have. Okay, in case of when you take a scalar, its curl is what, scalar take its gradient and its curl, then what, it is going to be 0. Okay, del cross del v will be always 0 for any scalar. Our del cross del v will be equal to 0. Similarly, if you take del dot del cross A, like you have a curl of a vector, then what, then if you take divergence of that, then that also is going to be 0. So these two identities, these are the two identities that we are going to use. Okay, so del cross del v is equal to 0, and what, del dot del cross A equal to 0. These two identities, okay, these are identities that we are going to use. So now let us see. Now, as I said, first let us define what the magnetic scalar potential. Magnetic scalar potential. So, what is magnetic scalar potential? Let us see. So, just as like E is minus del V, so we define what E is equal to minus del V in electrostatic. Similarly, here we are going to define with respect to what, magnetic field density. Okay, the electric field density, now I am going to define it with magnetic field density. So so similar to the electrostatics, I am defining it as what, minus del Vm. Here only difference is that what, Vm is the magnetic scalar potential and vector H is what, vector H is the magnetic field density. Okay, so this is what how we define our magnetic scalar potential. Okay, like magnetic field density will be the negative gradient of the magnetic scalar potential. Here we have a condition what, it is only possible if our current density J equal to 0. Okay, or we have a source free region. Okay, so I will come to that, why it is so, or why it should be a source free region in when we have H equal to minus del Vm. It is quite simple. So for that, I want you to remember our fourth Maxwell's equation. What was our fourth Maxwell's equation? Del cross H equal to J, or I will just write it as J equal to del cross H. Right. So now already I have an equation here like this, H equal to what, minus del Vm. I just want it to be what, in the place of H I will substitute the H equal to minus del Vm. Then I will get del cross minus del Vm. Now you can see that this, so what will happen, J equal to del cross minus del Vm. Now you can see that this del cross minus del Vm, right? So it is what this is the same form as this vector identity here, that what, del cross del V equal to 0. So we know that it is equal to 0. That is why I have to, if del cross H equal to J and we are defining H equal to minus del Vm, then J should be equal to 0. So what does it imply? So now J should be equal to 0 if you are defining H as minus del Vm. So that implies that if at all you need the H, you have to represent the magnetic field density as a negative gradient of the magnetic scalar potential, then your current density should be 0. Your current density should be 0, or I can say that my magnetic scalar potential defined by H equal to minus del Vm, that is only if what, only if the current is 0, or I can say for a source free region, from the E equal to minus del V only we have come to this Laplace equation and all. So similarly here also you will find that del square Vm equal to 0, and there also you have to see that our current density is what, 0. Okay, so that is about magnetic scalar potential. Now let us move on to the magnetic vector potential. Okay, magnetic vector potential. So magnetic vector potential. So what is magnetic vector potential, or how we are going to define that? Like, let us see. Uh, I would like to take you to another Maxwell's equation. What is that? The del dot B equal to 0, right? And we have already seen an identity also, that is del dot del cross A equal to 0, right? So this is this is all, this already we have what I can say manifested as a requirement for a magnetostatic field, right? In a static field, del dot B is going to be 0. We will see whether there is some difference in for this in the time varying field. Okay, so in that case, so del dot B equal to 0, right? So the divergence of a vector equal to 0. Then what I have already an identity as, if you take the curl of a vector and then take divergence, that also is going to be 0. So if you compare these two equations, then what you can say that you can write vector B as what? Del cross A. Okay, so you can write vector B as a curl of another vector, right? You can write a vector, the magnetic flux density B. You can write the magnetic flux density B as the curl of another vector. So that vector, whatever it is, so that vector is what we call as the magnetic vector potential. That vector is called as what? Magnetic vector potential. Okay, so this is about the magnetic vector potential, how we are defining it. Okay, now just as we like, I think you remember potential we defined in case of electrostatics like what? dq divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r, right? Similarly, our magnetic vector potential also we can define it as integral over mu 0 I, which is the element, right? Mu 0 by 4 pi already there. I dl is the element instead of dq, divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r, right? So this we have already seen. You can write the other equations of A for a surface element and a volume element. Important part here is what I want you to see is that we have in the last lecture we have seen the flux density, right? So what is flux density? Flux density is given by what? B dot ds, right? Like we have a surface, so if you have magnetic flux density B, then what? ds you have to integrate your B dot ds all over the place in order to get the the magnetic flux density, right? So this is non-tu. So in this place here, I want you to substitute what your understanding that B you can write as what? Del cross A. Okay, that much only. So that if I put, this will become del cross A dot ds, right? Del cross A dot ds. This is surface integral, right? So applying your your Stokes theorem, you can change it, right? So in that case, the surface integral will become closed integral over the loop A dot dl. I think you all remember the Stokes theorem and divergence theorem. So you can write psi as equal to what? A, the closed integral over the loop A dot dl. Okay, I want to just write it again here. Closed integral over the loop A dot dl. Okay. So what I am trying to say is that you are able to find out the magnetic flux. You are able to find out the magnetic flux in an area using what? Using your magnetic vector potential. Okay, so depending on the problem, you will be using Vm or vector A. That depends on the problem. Okay, and Vm you can only use when you have a source free region. Okay, vector A you can use anywhere, but Vm you can use only if you have a source free region. Okay, so this is another way. Okay, this is another parameter that we have an important quantity in magnetics, our magnetic potential, scalar and vector potential. Okay, I hope you are clear with this concept. So we have discussed about this concept in magnetostatics. Now we are going to a different area in the module 3, which is about the electric and magnetic field in material space, like how it is going to behave in when we have different types of materials. Okay, so, we have different types of material. So what are the types of materials you have? You have conductors, then you have semiconductors, then you have insulators or the like insulators, right? So this classification is there. Conductors are something which conduct the current. An ideal conductor means your conductivity is infinity, right? And you know that good conductors are having your conductivity value will be very high. Then you have semiconductor and you have insulator. For an insulator, you can say your conductivity is very low, or it is when it approaches zero, then we can say that there is no conductivity for that, right? So this is not due. We are going to see here how our both electric and magnetic field, because in electrostatics we discussed about different parameters and how the field behaves in free space. You can see that whether it comes to electric or magnetic field, you are always dealing with epsilon 0 or mu 0, which depicts only the permittivity of free space, right? Or the permeability of free space. So we were only dealing with free space only. Now we are going to discuss what happens in different materials. Okay, so for that, let us start with conductors. Right, let us start with conductors. So what is a conductor? A conductor means what? It is having abundant number of charges which are free to move, right? You have learned about conductors, and conductors means your electrons are free to move. That is what is meant by conductors, and it conducts, right? So abundant number of electrons which are able to move, that is what is meant by conductor. And an ideal conductor, I will say that your conductivity is quite reaching infinity, right? It is infinity, you can say. So let us consider the conductor here, and let me say a volume of a conductor like this. So this is your volume of the conductor that you have. Okay, so this volume you have your conductor, right? Let me draw it nicely. Yeah, so let me say that this is my volume of the conductor. Inside that, you know that there will be charges, and all charges will be randomly oriented, and there will not be any anything there when you are not applying any field. Now suppose that you are applying an electric field. Okay, I am applying an external electric field like this. So let me say this is the way I am applying my external electric field. Oh. So this I am calling as what? Vector EE. E means external. So an external electric field. EE means what? The external electric field. Okay, I am applying an external electric field here like this. Okay, so what is going to happen? That we are going to understand. So what is going to happen? You can tell me. Like if you are applying this electric field, it is like what? You are placing positive and negative charges on both sides. Right, so because of that, if you apply this electric field in the direction of electric field, what will happen? Your positive charges will start getting shifted, right? The positive charges will migrate in the direction of external electric field, right? And negative charges vice versa, right? Like it will go in the opposite direction, and so this positive charges it will be pushed along the same direction of the applied electric field, and negative charges will be on the opposite direction. So there will be, you can say that there is a charge migration that is taking place when you are applying an external electric field, and this will happen instantly because you have conductivity is infinity, or your electrons are readily movable. So because of that, once it is happening like that, then you will have what? Then you will have your positive and negative charges like this. On one side you will have positive charges, on the other side you will have negative charges. Within no time you will have this condition there. Once it happens, okay, once that happens, you can see that now you have positive charges on one side in the material and negative charge on the other side. Because of that, you will have an internal electric field. Okay, you will have an internal electric field. That electric field I will call as EI. Okay, I will have an internal electric field. An internal electric field EI is developed, okay, due to the migrated charges. I hope you are able to understand. Right, so this migration of charges create an internal electric field, and what will be the condition? Due to the external electric field only, you are creating this internal electric field, so that your this field inside the conductor, your field will get cancelled. Right, so this inside the conductor, the field will get cancelled, and that is why inside the conductor like EE minus EI equal to 0 were inside the conductor, right? So the net electric field inside the conductor is going to be 0. So if I redraw this again, okay. Okay, whatever. So if I redraw this again, now if a field is going, you can say, but what, it will not go through the inside the conductor, there will not be any field. Whatever field is coming, yeah, it can go out through what outside the conductor. Your external electric field will be there, but internally your electric field intensity is going to be 0. If you are taking an ideal conductor, this is going to be the case. Okay, so this is going to be the case. As for a perfect conductor, cannot, so we can write down our understanding like this. What, for a perfect conductor, a perfect conductor cannot contain an electrostatic field within it. An electrostatic field within it. Okay, so that is your takeaway from here. And a perfect conductor cannot contain an electrostatic field within it. You have seen its application like several places, right? So if you have a conductor, then inside that there will not be an electrostatic field. All the field have to go through the outside. So that is once I say that your electric field inside the conductor is 0, that means that when your electric field is constant or it is 0, that means that your conductor, if it's a conductor, then what, it is an equipotential body. Okay, anywhere your potential is going to be the same. So right, so anywhere your potential is going to, because E is given by what, minus del V. So once E is 0, that means what, that means that your potential is not having any change at all. So considering that, we can say that here it is an equipotential body also, right? Right, like apart from E equal to 0, I can also write as what, VAB inside any point, any 2 point between 2 points inside the conductor, your potential difference is going to be 0. So that also is clear, right? So right, so that is about the conductor. Same thing you can also understand from another equation that is given by J equal to sigma E. You have come across this, I believe. This is Ohm's law in point form. J equal to sigma E, right? So, right, we have derived it in your before also. So J equal to sigma E. This is current density and it is equal to sigma E. So current means what? It is about charges, right? So when your sigma is going to infinity, let us say your sigma is going to infinity, then what? Then in order to get a finite value of current density or a finite current is going, then that time your electric field density should go to what? Should go to 0. I am not saying that sigma is infinity. Sigma, whenever it is going nearby infinity, that is the case of conductor, it is having very high value of conductivity, then your electric field intensity, what? It should go towards 0. So that, with that understanding also you can look into. Now we have already know that electric field intensity inside the conductor is 0. So using Gauss's law, you can say that using Gauss's law, what is given when del dot D equal to rho V. Okay, and I am telling you that electric field intensity is 0. So del dot epsilon E equal to 0. That definitely implies that that is rho V, right? So when E is 0, then what? Then your rho V also is going to 0. right? So the condition inside a conductor is like this, that your electric field density is 0, but the potential difference between 2 points is 0, then what, rho v also is 0. Okay, so inside a conductor, whether you have charged it or whatever be the condition, you apply an electric field inside the conductor, your electric field density is going to be 0 because of having high conductivity. Okay, then once it is constant, or it's the electric field density value is 0, then what, the potential difference between 2 points inside the conductor is also going to be 0, then rho v is 0. Rho v 0 is also having an implication, like you are trying to charge a conductor. Okay, where your charge is going to go? All the time your charge will always try it will always try to keep the charge on the surface, not inside. Okay, so that phenomenon also, that also can be explained with this rho v equal to 0. Right, so if some charges are introduced in the interior of such a conductor, then the charge will move to the surface, right? This means that the charge will move to the surface and redistribute. This observation you have heard in your lower classes, like when you are introducing a charge in the conductor, it will try to redistribute it on the surface of the conductor. So that also we are able to understand here when I am saying that the charge density inside a conductor is 0. So that is about the with that I think our discussion on the conductor. Okay, what is the state of, what is the how electric field behaves inside a conductor is I think you are able to understand with this.